All right, word.
Producer.
Dude, I can't believe you remember that tag. That's hilarious. Maybe I'll throw it in. I don't even think I have that tag anymore, honestly.
You gotta drop it in like the MLS like air horn.
Dude.
Producer.
I had so much stuff like that, but then I was like, it's kind of corny. I don't know. But anyway, cheers.
Cheers. Oh.
We don't need. Yeah, we can touch.
Yeah.
Yo, this episode we'll call like orange glasses or yellow glasses. I don't know. Do you fuck with the yellow variant as well? Are those yellow?
Yeah, these are very yellow.
Okay.
They make life very blissful.
So this is a good place to start because I'm very curious about this. I started rocking these glasses on like rainy, shitty days because it literally made the day brighter. And I don't know, man. I just love them. Like, it's just a better life for some. I feel like I'm in a Wes Anderson movie.
Yeah, it's definitely a big serotonin booster.
Yeah.
But I initially got them because a couple years ago I got into a really bad skateboarding accident.
Really?
So it like I couldn't like look at computer screens for too long without getting like major migraines.
Yeah.
So then I was like, all right, well, I don't want to be on a bunch of ibuprofen. It's not healthy. So
No.
I like started wearing these, and then kind of more or less they just took over the rest of my life. I like wearing them at night while driving, or I wear them like in the daytime as normal glasses because they pretty much do overall protection for everything.
Do they have UV and stuff or?
Yep.
Nice.
Got some nice UV layers to it. So it
These
works really
ones,
well.
$5, Amazon, UV protection and polarized. They're not very good at blocking out light. Like if you're driving and the sun is setting, you're kind of just like, fuck, it's still really bright.
Yeah.
But,
oh yeah. The same thing with these. If it's like right at sunset, it can be really like painful.
yeah.
But of course, I just try to put my folds down and let that kind of block some shade right there.
Yeah, that's the move. Damn, dude. Well, fuck. I mean, going back, like, so you skateboard. I used to skateboard too, but I was never really like that great. I would just do games of skate, like in the alley.
Yeah.
Mostly flat ground. But was there anything you specifically skated?
Yeah. I was a big vert skater.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't skate no more. I wish I did, but nowadays I mostly just be kayaking and bike riding. Like,
Yeah.
stay like active with it, but I don't skate anymore, sadly.
Dude, I mean, I get it. Like, if you hurt yourself, it's just like, ooh, I don't want to do that. Every time I get on a skateboard, I like do some shit, like fall in a like I'm just not.
And that's the thing. It's like I've fallen a lot. Like I've learned to like kind of roll with it.
Yeah.
But the one time because I was on a brand new board when it happened, so I didn't quite have my footings in with the balance, and yeah, I smacked my skull on the pavement.
Damn, bro.
And hospitalized and try to learn how to walk again and stuff. It was so trash.
Fuck, man.
I wasn't even trying to do anything cool, man. Like I was like going fast, just trying to go to my like skate park, and fell back, and because I didn't know like what the center balance of my weight was on the board since I just got and built it.
Yeah.
And I still keep the board. It's still my favorite Christian Hosoi like hammerhead deck.
Word.
But yeah, that didn't go too well.
That's crazy, man. Yeah, no, if I like got back on a board, I'd be wearing like a helmet and like shin pads and knee pads and all that shit.
Bubble
like,
wrap.
Yeah, just everything, like elbow pads. And yeah, man, it's crazy. Like I'll like flick the board out and it'll just like come back and hit my shin, and I'm like, and that's the day. I'm done. Like fuck this. Like, so yeah.
Back to the GameCube.
Yeah, exactly. Like back to just doing something safe. All right, man. Well, first let's do a little introduction, just because I always forget to do that. If you'd like to introduce yourself, that'd be great.
Yeah, so what is good, people of the internet? My name is Kiefer Ian, and I have been producing dance music for over, God love us, like 10 years now. I at least have the badge rights to be like making heinous claims on the internet about my experience. So catch me in the D&B boomer section of the internet.
Do you play D&B? Or I was thinking D&D. D&B, yeah.
I do
Word.
play D&D with
Yeah,
some
a
friends
little
whenever
bit?
I can. Yeah.
Okay.
I got to find some new peeps out here to do that with in Chicago.
I have a crew. Just
Yes.
saying.
All right, definitely noted there. But yeah, I've been producing music and DJing for quite some time, even though I'm only like 27.
Yeah. No,
But I've had a fun journey, and I've kind of dipped in different genres and kind of find my pocket in all this time, and now I'm ready to do the next exciting chapter of it, being here in good old Chicago.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, welcome to Chicago. You just moved like a week ago, technically, something like that.
Yeah, it's literally been like a whole week.
Sorry about that. We'll just do that like interruption screen where it's like now that we got a little bit of a backstory and we are here now with no interruptions, I'd like to ask you an icebreaker question, even though I feel like we've had a couple. And that is, I wonder if you remember this part of the show. What was your first concert?
Oh man. My first like real concert that I went to, I know it's not really like, I'm even questioning it myself for sure, but I went to Kanye West's Glow in the Dark tour with Lupe Fiasco
Bro.
and NERD opening up.
That's sick.
Oh my god.
For a first concert?
Oh, sorry. DJ A-Track was also...
Like A-Track.
Yes, the A-Track was playing this
what?
show as well. It was... It made up so much of who I am.
No, it sounds like it would, because that was like the first thing with like a big sound system. There's like these iconic people on stage. That sounds like in a prime time. Was that, what era album Kanye was that?
That was right when he released Graduation, and he did a stop in Cincinnati, Ohio, and Rihanna was supposed to play it as well, but she canceled for some reason. Either way, I got to see Pharrell Williams and Lupe Fiasco. Like, that to me was so hype because I really liked them. But then, of course, seeing Kanye up on stage, like, just blew my mind, because it wasn't just him playing only Graduation. He was playing, like, everything, like, discography-wise. And then at some point, he was doing these crazy-ass theatrics where he's, like, fighting a dragon in space on stage, and he gets eaten and like kills the dragon. It was so tight. Yeah.
Damn.
It was such a cool stage, and yes, I was wearing shutter shades.
I was gonna ask,
kid.
Dude. If only we could just cut right now and then just have the shutter shades on. Like, if I had some, we would do that. But
man, if I could find them, I think I got rid of them a long time ago. But
can you see like okay out of them, or is it
out of shutter shades?
Yeah, I mean,
I don't. Maybe I wouldn't.
Maybe
I wouldn't drive with them. I wasn't driving back then, but man, if
were you watching the concert through the shutter shades?
No, I did not have them back then, and to get them at the concert, they were charging like $40-$50, and I just did not have that in kid money at the time.
I feel like I have to ask the mandatory question about, like, how do you feel about Kanye now?
Definitely, he's off his complete rocker. I mean, obviously, like, there was a time when he wasn't, and I really cherish that era still, but I'm at least understanding of the fact that he's said some very odd things and questionable things about people, and even kind of people related to my family. So I'm like, what are we doing now? Like,
yeah, it's getting
I think the big problem is like the people he has around him aren't really like there for him. I think that's a big key that a lot of people are missing out on. Not to get too deep into it, but I feel like if your circle is not there, like making sure you're good and keeping you in check,
yeah,
that's definitely a red flag, and they're there for material things, and that's possibly what's going on in his
Yeah,
case.
they're like, say some crazy shit. Like, that would be better.
Because, like, saying people be like, bro, don't be, like, posting this, like, conversation. Like, and then he's clearly just, like, acting without thought.
Yeah.
And
I think he's kind of throwing shit at the wall to see what sticks almost. It's just like,
oh, absolutely.
That didn't work out. Okay, cool.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely just throwing anything to see what works and what doesn't. And I hope he's evaluating what's happening, because there's a lot.
I still respect the fuck out of him for his artistry. I just feel like he's been in it for so long that he just can't. It's like he's been in it for so long there's no way to know which way is up. And maybe if he had a good crew being like, yo,
like, if you don't have a supportive people, like, because that's what happens with, like, a lot of, like, people who have OD'd or have, like, got into some, like, sketchy stuff with the law and whatnot. Like, if the people are around you are not helping you in a healthy manner, then, you know, they're only there for something, and it ain't that.
Yeah.
And
that makes sense.
And then also, too, I think a part of it is Kanye's just completely, like, cut so many of those healthy people off.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's so hard to say because we're just people behind a screen looking at this catastrophe.
We don't know.
We don't know what's happening behind those doors, but I'm sure that's probably one of the center blocks that are behind this thing that's going on right now.
For sure. Okay. Just for some clarity. You know, we have Halloween coming around the corner. Bless.
My favorite time of the year.
Is it?
Oh, I love this time of the year. It's so much fun.
The fall weather is very nice, although it's fleeting. Let's just do like a. Do you fuck with scary movies?
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Let's do like a top three.
Top three. Let's see. I really liked a personal favorite for me is The Ritual. It's on Netflix. It's a pretty scary one about like 4 guys whose friend died. So they do like a monumental kind of a hike through these Swedish woods and end up encountering a Norse god.
Oh boy.
It's pretty tight. That
sounds pretty sick. I've never seen that one. I'm gonna definitely check that one out.
It's a fun one. Like, it's not like jump scare corny. Like, there's just moments where you're like, this is eerie.
Yeah. Have you seen The Witch?
I have. Shoot, I should have mentioned The Witch before The Ritual. Now that I think about it, but The Witch, it's very like same vibes.
Similar. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
although
that one's
The
not
Witch
really
is scarier,
like.
I would say
There's parts that are scary, but it's just that you're like, what the like this is just wild.
But I think like when it comes to horror movies per se, I really like Lovecraftian kind of horror, like body horror, sci-fi kind of stuff. I would really say I really enjoy Annihilation. I know it's not like pinnacly a horror movie in sense.
Yeah.
But like it's one of those like movies that kind of takes the obvious like weird stuff is happening, but also paints the allegory of going into the main character's personal life and seeing how that reflects into it.
Yeah. Like their fears and stuff come into
translation play of the place that they're in.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff is really dope to me. I like that.
I like that too. Yeah. Okay. I
don't like ghost movies. Ghost movies kind of bore me.
Interesting.
But I do like what's it? The Island. What's the one? Leonardo DiCaprio. He's on.
Oh yeah, Shutter Island.
Yes.
Because that one's like psychological.
That's why I like that movie.
Yeah, for sure. That's a good one. I feel like nothing is scarier than aliens.
Dude, aliens.
You know what I mean? Because once aliens come get you, you're fucked. Like, there's nothing you can do against an alien. Ghosts?
I like Prometheus, too. Prometheus is really cool.
Yeah, the visuals of that were crazy. I wish that the alien film after that was better. Covenant?
Yeah, the lead up to that was pretty trash. But at least to kind of see how it, like, started was like, well, makes my alien viewing experience, like, a lot more grounded. And
For sure.
I really
just
liked
felt
how
like
they took it.
Yeah, and like this is not a movie podcast. but it's spooky season.
Oh yeah, you got it. You got to give the honorable mentions.
I feel like I want to listen to one of these tracks. I want to listen to some music of yours so then people can get a little taste and know what's going on. So, is there anything you want to say about this track before we just like get into it?
Yeah, so the reason why I sent this track over is because I feel like it kind of stands as a pinnacle of what I'm doing with UK Garage, but here in Chicago, where I kind of take the OG Chicago house influences and give it a little UK Garage twist to it. I think, that's pretty much why I wanted to put this one out. And plus, it was kind of a big release for me being on Beastwing, since this is my first track with them. And I definitely love playing this one out, and it's got a really fun atmosphere and really nice little bass line. And
this one's bumping. It's got like 3 different styles kind of in it, or like when we'll just play it.
Hell yeah.
So hot, dude. I love those alarm sounds. What? You want another beer?
Yeah, I would love another beer.
I got you. Zaps and blips like in the intros and the drops. Use the iPhone app for that. Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
Had to expand my creativity a little bit with it.
Dude, there's a lot of good music production apps for like iPad and iPhone. That Ableton Link.
The IK oscillator on this.
Oh, yeah.
People selling soul for a slice of bread. Don't watch a man, this is the I-10 red.
Yeah, so many sample packs I just tore through just to like cut up and like throw in here.
For sure. we'll let it play out.
Yeah, this one's so much fun to play out.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I know this, but I don't fully know it, so maybe you can elaborate on it. And that is what, like, because I feel like to the untrained ear, that's house. But what makes it more garage, or like bringing the garage element into it?
Yeah, so primarily garage, like off bat, people recognize it like from hearing the two-step to it, so not necessarily the four on the floor. Although the thing I would say and that makes it at least garage influenced is the fact it's got like some drum perks and some snares and hi-hats that I kind of threw in there that are a little bit more triplet or offset to the normal groove. Okay. That fills in kind of those rhythmic spaces that normally the chords or just like other shit would fill. But like with garage, it's like having that filled in and kind of shaking it up is normally what kind of defines that when it comes to like the 4/4 sound. But yeah, that's normally like two-step rhythms, and the triplets kind of filling that in is normally what primarily builds up garage.
Yeah, because I could definitely hear it with the perks, like or like because like a garage rhythm is like boom, boom, boom,
like there's definitely a lot of overlap.
And
you know, it's kind of goofy to sit there and gatekeep and be like, this is house. This is
no,
because there's obvious, like when you hear it, like you kind of know at that point. But
I think genres, they don't really matter, but
there's so much overlap.
I like talking about them because it's just like funny because people will get into arguments about these kinds of things, or just be like
I don't really care about genre all that much unless it becomes like more of like a cultural talking point. Because then at that point you do have to give respective props of what the hell you're talking about. Because 9 times out of 10 it always follows back to either the city or across the river or not the river but the lake at Detroit.
Yeah.
So
for sure,
it's always one of those two cities that primarily puts on for everything else that happens
for the dance stuff. And then we got like dubstep, which is maybe we could thank like reggae or like,
I mean, yeah, really you can think like Jamaica and reggae culture and everything in that light, but I guess for like more of like bro step, you know,
Skrill.
You could thank Skrill for that.
Skrill 100%. I am curious about just, you said you used to work at Guitar Center. I'm just curious, like what working for a big gear company, and like if there are really any things that it's like, ooh, that is kind of crap, or like, I don't know. Like,
I mean, there's a lot that's like stressful about it, and that there's like corrupt about it here and there. But like at the end of the day, it was a great job when I worked it. I loved it. Honestly, I had really good supportive people. I also had some people that didn't really care, but as expected, when your corporate base is made up of musicians, what the hell else do you expect? You got people that want to like do music full time, not work at a Guitar Center.
Yeah. For sure.
But, you know, you just kind of have like that like kind of sentiment. But I think like there's definitely a lot of positives that I had working there. It definitely opened my eyes up to a lot of how the gear industry works.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to kind of see like what kind of design things are coming in, what new things were getting ready to go up on the market, because we'd get like some presentations and like features of like stuff that's coming. I also learned the hard way as well. Sometimes if you hear about those things early and you speak upon it on social media, sometimes if you speak those in the right spaces, those people who work for those companies may come to find you and make sure you shut the hell up. So
yeah, we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I'm not going to go further in that one, but it was so funny when it happened. Yeah, but no, it was cool. It was really cool just to get to talk to a bunch of dork ass people like me who just love making music, and my goal there was to get as much music gear in people's hands and and that was it. I initially just left because it wasn't enough money, and for what kind of work I was doing there, I felt like I was getting breadcrumbs compared to what I was netting for the company annually. So I was like, I can do this somewhere else and like damn near see six figures. Like,
yeah, I feel like so
like,
was it sales?
It was a sales position.
Because I feel like that stuff, at least from my perspective, it sells itself in a lot of senses that you're like, yo, I want that piece of gear. I want, because it's like
9 times out of 10 people know what they want, and then you call and then they don't know. You know, I listen to them. I qualify them as much as I can. Try to figure out what their wants and needs are. Figure out budget. Honestly, I don't really try to focus too much on budget, like, because that's how you can upsell. But mostly just like listening to people and like talk to them, get to know them. That's really like how you do well with that kind of a job, or really any sales job, is get to know your clients, figure out what their goals are, what they're doing. Like,
yeah,
it's really like building those relationships with people is what matters.
For sure. And I feel like there's also this sentiment that, you know, if you buy crap, it's probably going to end up like breaking down or whatever. Or like there's certain areas where you can buy things that are cheap and it's perfectly fine.
Here's a fun little thing since you've mentioned that. I fully believe that most of Guitar Center's corporates, like overall revenue, mostly comes from our pro coverage.
Really? I'm always guilted into like being like, yeah, I need that pro
we still
coverage.
owe money to like the manufacturers and stuff that we'd sell from. So like our pro coverage essentially just takes extra money with like zero margin. The only real margin, I guess, is like if the customer happens to call and use that protection plan and gets their stuff replaced, then at that point it's no cost to us. So we're more like an insurance company than a gear company.
Wow.
Really, oddly enough.
That's crazy. So like, I'm sure that there is a lot of weighed risk and stuff in that where it's like, you know.
But I think it's worth it. And like,
you think it's worth it?
Oh, absolutely. Like if you're spending like several thousands, I've had people call me, they'll like get a CDJ set up and like spend like $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 on it. And I'm like, okay, so it's a big setup. What are you doing with it? And it'll just be like, oh, like
Just
I'm
like
gonna be putting this in my bar that I have. I have DJs that come through and stuff, and I'm like, you gonna cover that? Because I'm assuming if you're spending this much, your DJs are gonna be doing some pretty phenomenal stuff with a rowdy crowd. And they'll go, I don't know if I might just use my insurance. I'm like, yeah, well, I bet your insurance doesn't cover this and this and this, which our protection plans do.
Yeah.
Easy win.
Yeah.
Easy win.
Which also, that makes sense, though.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I mean, if someone spills a beer on your CDJs, like...
we cover it.
Not good. Yeah.
It's not, but we cover it.
Yeah. So that makes sense. So I'm sure that there's certain things, though, where it's like, yo, that shit's not breaking. Like an SM57 or something. Like, that shit's not breaking.
No. I mean, you can, but like...
You can, but I've heard, like, stories where it's like, yeah, you can nail... Like, you can put a nail in a wall with that thing. It's good. Like, you can bury that shit in dirt, and it's fine. Like...
Yeah, I mean, they built them nicely. Like, when it comes to Pioneer stuff or, like, anything like that, for sure, I always recommend protection plans. Or if people are, like, buying guitars, especially if they're, like, doing gigs, or even if they're keeping this stuff at home, like... cover it, dude. It's like buying a used car or like a new car. Like why would you spend that money and not have like some overhead protection on it? Because like this is a cruel world. The worst does and has happened. Yeah.
How much are you... I mean, just because like sales is sales.
Yeah.
But like I also do believe that if you're gonna buy things, you should buy something that's like pretty good. Like again, there are certain things that you can kind of skimp out on, but other things like you should buy the quality shit because it's gonna like end up breaking, something's gonna happen, and you're gonna be like, wow, I should have just bought that nice thing first.
Yeah, so I mean, I'll definitely like tell people to get like better quality stuff, especially when it comes to like PA systems. Like, we have our proprietary brands of, like, PA systems. Like, venues will hit me up and be like, yeah, I need some new tops for my main stage, need some floor monitors. What do you got for me that's in stock? And especially with this past couple of years, it's been really hard to get stuff in stock. But, like, I always, like, try to, like, tell them, hey, are you able to wait it all on a back order? If not, I at least have some other options. And at that point, it's just kind of a negotiating game. But if I really, like, try to keep quality insured, I always try to present that first and work best as I can with it.
What's, like, if we just go through some different things, like headphones or, like, PAs, what's, like, the main brand that you're selling that, like, you would ideally sell? Or, like, that you would buy yourself?
Personally, and that I think lasts really well, JBLs. JBLs are really good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because also too, like, there's certain brands we can't discount as well. So, like, I've tried to avoid those unless it's, like, for sure what the customer absolutely needs.
So there's a little bit of, like, a pull where it's like, I want to sell you those because those
and it's like, if there's any opportunity where I can get stuff for you cheaper, like, shit, I would love to do that for people.
Yeah,
because, like, it's crazy money that stuff
dude
is.
Shit's expensive, man. Like,
especially with how, like, price gouging. I will say, like, working for a Guitar Center, it was really interesting to see how we started essentially price gouging, especially when tubes went out because of the Ukrainian, like, war there.
Oh wait, that was a problem because was Ukraine a big supplier of tubes?
Yep, a lot of tubes came out of Ukraine and Russia. So we had a couple distributors and companies out there that would make them. But, like, when that war started, we originally had, like, 12 AX7s going for, like, $40 a pop. There were, like, at one point we were selling them for, like, $220 a pop. It was insane.
Wild, yeah.
And at a point, we literally just had to pull the inventory because it was so in demand. Everyone started panic buying.
Yeah.
So we had to, like,
just
get
grab
the hell out
some
of
for
it.
yourself and, like, slowly let them go. Like, or
it was literally maybe like 2 days that we had those 12 AX7s up for as much as we did because we were literally competing with everybody else in boutiques that were selling them. And then we just said, pull it.
I know. So when I went into a Guitar Center recently, I was looking at...
I think they're back now, but we have domestics only.
Okay. So there's, like, still tubes made in
the US.
US.
There's still, like, if you need 12 AX7s, you can still get those. But I think you may find Russian ones. I don't know. Because, I mean, I've been out of the company for, like, 2 weeks now, so they may be back.
Are the AX7s just, like, amps?
Yeah, they're mostly primarily used as amps and, like, used in, like, head units for guitars and bass cabinets and stuff like that.
Gotcha. So this is actually fascinating to me because, like, during the pandemic, there was, like, a whole new wave of let's buy shit that is not being distributed as much. And then also there's just, like, an element of, you know, like, these microphones, like, everyone's got a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Like, these microphones, I wonder if there was, like, a shortage at any point or
Absolutely.
Like certain things. So Shure SM7Bs.
SM7Bs were at one point back ordered for like 3 months out.
Really?
Yeah. Like back orders for like pretty much anything Pro Audio Studio. It was pretty bad. I think because like, of course, with COVID and everything, the stores closed and then everybody started calling into us. We were racking money like crazy.
Yeah.
But the fun only lasts as long as it does because we
don't have
eventually, we ran out of stuff. So it was like,
damn,
it was bad.
That's wild. I went in the other day because I was looking at some CDJs just to check them out for a gig. Like I literally just went there to
rent,
to fuck around with them. No, just to see how they are.
They probably weren't in store.
And they had a rental, but they didn't have them in the store.
Yep.
And I was like, do you mind if I just like check them out real quick? And he was cool about it.
Oh, they were cool with it.
He was cool about it. He wasn't very busy, and but he was saying that like the CDJs were just have been like hard to get and hard to sell because they don't have an inventory for it. So
yeah, Pioneer. Dude, everything
Even
affected
that.
us.
Yeah.
Of course, obviously the pandemic, but man, when I was just like trying to be producing music at home while I was like quarantined and whatnot, and then like trying to be like, well, all right, this music shit, like I love doing it, and like I don't want to like slave myself to it as like turning a hobby into like a full-time. I mean, I still want to do that, but like when this was like back when there was no vaccines, no light of hope or anything,
Yeah.
I was just like, all right, well, what the hell is the touring DJ music industry gonna be? And like producing music, I guess, is just kind of the only avenue to go. But it really kind of like pushed me to like challenge myself to get into sales, become more sociable, and get outside of my box and kind of be the goofy goober that I am today.
I know that you also, I mean, like kind of on a slightly serious sense, but like on your Twitter, I was rummaging through some tweets, and you were saying that like, you know, it's just very difficult to, you know, tour and make money. And I just
crazy.
saw there's like this show called Necropolis. My friend were joking about that.
I was just about to bring that up. Yeah, even as big of a show that was, they pulled out because
I don't
presumably ticket sales.
Yeah, it's really interesting. There was this Mr. Carmack wheat thin like something show by the lake that was supposed to be like, I was like, this is gonna be a banging concert.
Canceled too?
Canceled. No, nothing said about it. Me and my friend Ryan were gonna go see this concert, 100 Gex at Radius.
Oh yeah, 100 Gex.
And they canceled too. You know, all of these could be for different reasons, because I'm sure 100 Gex could sell a lot. Maybe not for Radius though. Radius is a really big venue. I don't know if you've heard. It's like,
oh yeah,
it's a huge venue. Maybe that was the issue. But yeah, like this thing where it's like they're like, yeah, we're just not gonna do it. But that happens more and more now than I've ever seen.
I mean, it's just pure, you know, music industry capitalism collapsing on itself because it was inherently in an unstable model that everyone just brushed off and said, this is the only way. And now it's finally collapsing on itself after a pretty deep recession that we're in. So honestly, as much as it sucks to see a lot of these shows get canceled and all these artists, you know, having to scramble, I mean, this system has to go. It has to go. There's just no way Spotify streams as pennies to the... Not even pennies.
Yeah, like
fractions of pennies.
Yeah.
Like, there's just no way anybody can fucking sustain off of this unless you're like 0.05% in that echelon. Even that, you're living practically like how I am. Just, you know, just a scrub, you know, working a day job and getting some benefits from a corporate company. I mean, like...
Yeah.
I'd rather just have a day job and make music on the side and go travel where I'm needed. Honestly, that's where I'm at, and I like it.
Yeah.
But like the way that the music industry's ran, and I've worked for promoters here, and just seeing it like all collapse on itself because it's all based on what if numbers, and plays on the internet isn't necessarily generating what you're trying to do in your city.
Like getting people in the door and stuff like that.
Yeah. But, like, also, too, it is a recession. People aren't spending like that. Like, me and my homies mostly are just, like, drinking at the crib. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. No, I mean, I am in agreement with that. I'm going to a lot of, like, random little shows.
But that's the thing. That's the flip side. I'm not trying to be all doom and gloom here.
Yeah.
Like, here's the flip side, and I think it's really great.
Yeah.
This is probably an amazing time to...
The local...
to support local scenes, support the community you're in and immediately in, and upraising that as much as you can.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. And also those shows are not as expensive.
No.
If you want to just go and hang out and whatever, the beers aren't like extremely expensive, upcharged, you know.
Like, I'm not out here trying to like pay crazy amounts for drinks just to see my homies play. That's crazy. Like, I'm there for the music anyways. But, like, I don't know. I for sure, just going into, like, the next year, we're going to see a lot of external factors affecting the music industry. And I think my personal like focus on it is right now just make the music. I already did shows this summer. I was super happy to kind of get that influence. I do want to try to get out to Europe next year.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Any cities in particular?
I'm trying to go to like for sure London, play some stuff out there.
Fabric Live.
I wish,
bro.
But like I don't even know if I don't even get to play any gigs too. Whatever. I just want to see like people that like I've known through the internet these past couple of years that I've been doing garage with, and like get to meet them in person and see what their life is like and what kind of inspires them.
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
I get that here in Chicago and kind of like where house music started, but like I want to see like for a person where like the garage scene is, because it's very vibrant out there.
You know, it's nice to hear you say that, like, you know, I'm out there for the music. I'm out there, you know, to meet the people behind it. And I also saw that you said something about, like, why does everything have to be so transactional?
Yeah,
you know?
that's the thing. It's like I
Like,
already work a day job that's
follow.
very transactional.
Yeah.
But like still, when I'm in that position, I do what I can to be like a real human. Like I think that's one of the big things that like as a generation right now, we're so fast paced to being in this technological space that we almost miss out on actual human interaction, which is why Discord and everything has been such a blessing these past couple years, honestly.
For sure. Yeah. No, I mean, it is a weird time.
Yo, how's the moving week been, Kiefer?
Welcome, Kai.
Thank you.
Hi,
Kai's been on the
Kai.
podcast. This is a third time, so welcome. Welcome back.
Becoming something of like a kind of returning guest.
Yeah,
if
I
you
like
will.
it that way.
Yeah.
I like
Recurring theme.
So,
I prefer a motif.
yes.
Yeah.
Very nice. Let's also just do a quick background check. How do y'all know each other?
Where do you
Kiefer-
want to begin?
Kiefer, you knew we were gonna have to tell this story.
At some point.
Yes.
I told Jerry this story last time I was over, and we were just like hacking a dart on the deck, and I think I kind of like just gave Jerry this like sort of like post-mortem of Home Planet and Ionic and how we kind of just live in the world of the butterfly effect. But since this is your podcast, I feel like you should definitely tee us up, and then I can kind of jump in.
So, from what I remember, Indiana is a big part of it. No? Yes? Right?
It is.
Definitely.
Okay. And was it college? Or like it was...
It was my college, at least.
Yeah.
I was in senior year of college, but like the story definitely extends like past graduation for me. And then Kiefer is like still in college at this point too. Back in the day, this is sort of like a flash forward, but like I met Kiefer without realizing it was him. I had one of those like, wait, is that guy? But I didn't end up going over to him and talking to him, and that was at Ball State University.
Chirp, chirp. God damn it.
Chirp, chirp. That's funny. Okay. All right, cool. Just wanted to get that out of the way, get that little background check going. So you guys have known each other for, you know.
I feel like I want to say I've known of him for a long time, and then I've known him for like 2.5 years now at this point, right? That's not right?
Yeah, that's about right. Because, when you were at Ball State that time, I think that was because I was president of EDMC at the time. So that was definitely like probably 2018, 2019.
Okay.
Probably around that time
It's
frame.
definitely the before times. My project file of BC Whips is just the before times.
It's all just like cavern sounds and like
Cavern sounds.
just like straight up
drums.
the entire soundtrack of Land Before Time.
Dude, that would be so hard. I
But
worship that.
I guess not to get off the rails here, like, did you guys already talk about the EDMC and
No.
Oh
No. Yeah, let's
damn.
talk about that.
Okay, yeah, you should talk about that.
There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah. So just to give the rundown, EDMC was a music production club that I was president of for a term at Ball State University. I initially played an EDMC show when I was just like going to community college in Indianapolis, and then like at that point I was kind of like figuring out what the hell I was doing with my life because I wasn't trying to be at community college forever. I then went to Ball State, and then I was like, yeah, I could have a pretty good leg in with like this production club and get to know the people there that are part of the club and stuff like that, other than just being like some dude that like produces and plays gigs whenever they ask. But I got to a point where like, yeah, we were running shows, we were booking artists, we were having production meetups. That was about the time when Podducer started. Yeah.
So
So yeah, it had a lot of cool people a part of that. Some that are still doing music, some that I kind of fallen out of it, but you know, definitely super happy that I was there at that time, and we got to run some pretty sick shows, book some decent locals, and kind of get the taste and the flavor of like being in the music industry before I like started like getting more like on the internet with it and
booking stuff specifically though, right? Like
yeah,
organizing shows, events.
Yeah,
since it was like a school club, did you guys get money from Ball State to like pay the booking fees and everything? Like I've always wanted to ask you that.
Kind of. So initially when the club started, it did have like sponsors and things like that, but because of the venue that we mostly wanted to run stuff at and the way that like the school wanted to regulate shows, they were just like not cool with us hosting it at a local bar venue. But like, what other option do we have other than playing like a seated room? You're not playing dance music at a seated room.
Yeah.
I mean, we did a few times like do some like, they had like a late night thing that they would host like every Friday and have like games and activities. We would sometimes like get some of our DJs to like get in and play some gigs for some money and stuff, kind of give them that experience, but it wasn't necessarily like our hosting that we had on it. But early when the club started, there was a lot more school funding to it, but towards the end we kind of just like did our own thing, but still kept in mind of like having a student body and like keeping that kind of a network, at least as our pinnacle.
For sure. So are you still doing this, or have you just kind of like taken the knowledge and moved with that?
Definitely taken the knowledge and moved with it, and like just kind of putting it to my own music right now. But like, yeah, I gave, because like in our constitution that we had written for it, like presidents couldn't be like a senior in
Damn,
college.
you had a constitution?
Well, we had to have one for when we were like getting school sponsorship money, so we had like an actual written constitution for it. And that was one of the rules. So by the time I became a senior, I passed it off to one of my homies, Noah, and he ran it for the last year, and then he also became a senior and graduated. And at this point the club is dissolved and no longer a thing, sadly.
But it was good experience and like kind of just taught you like,
yeah, it was cool. Like we buddied up with like Purdue University, we buddied up with IU, we did shows in like Southern Indiana, like Evansville, we did stuff in Lafayette. Like we did a lot of stuff. We did like collabs with like the promoters in Indianapolis. It was like kind of our first footing to like get a little bit of our influence and spread it around. And
did you ever do anything with Sweater Disco, like a collab show with Home Planet?
We didn't, but we did book Michael for I want to say a couple events. We booked him a few times. But yeah, he's always been a pleasure to have on there.
Great guy, yeah. Don't know him that well, but just like I can
Amazing
feel,
human being.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can feel that from him.
Michael Friel is like one of the real ones that we have here in the Midwest.
Shout out. Word. Well, let's see. Do I have any more questions? I think we basically covered all of them. We started with glasses, just to throw it back.
Yep.
That's why you got glasses on too. You need the orange tint. I'm
Damn,
just
I'm
saying,
lacking here.
bro. I'll spray paint your glasses for you.
Is that
Spray paint.
no? That's you won't be able to
is
see.
it like
but,
some aftermarket thing
Nah,
you put on, or you just go to your eye doctor?
You gotta get him shutter shades.
bro? Yeah.
Shutter shades.
Shutter shades.
That's how you
What?
see 2020, bro. All right, let's do our wrap up question.
Yeah.
That is, we talked about your first concert, but what was your favorite concert? The best concert you've been to, the most like goddamn gosh darn. And it like a lot of times the first concert is really important, but
That's the problem.
Another one.
I really like that one.
another one.
I really like that one. I think
Yeah.
as sort of kind of a rebuttal on that question, because definitely as far as performance wise that like impacted me for sure was that Glow in the Dark tour, just because I love NERD and like to see Pharrell play and like all like Chad Hugo and all of them play was really cool. But honestly, the thing I really like going and like kind of motivates me to keep going to shows is just like discovering underground stuff. Like there's an event series I'm about to put on here called Club Plex in Indianapolis, and they do like all these different kinds of like underground warehouse, like house techno, breaks, like international kind of sounds and dance music, and they're doing it in my freaking backyard. And like
Yeah.
we have like a few promoters out here that have been like cultivating the underground scene, like Nap D&B as well in that category. Like they're the drum and bass promoters of Indianapolis. Shouts out to Courtney and Pete and all them. But yeah, like Club Plex, man, like that was like of all like the big production budget shows that I've been to, because I've been to like a bunch, but there's just something about like scouring out a warehouse, setting up some minimal lighting, and just banging some dope ass fucking tunes. Like it doesn't match these corporatized bullshit events that happen. Like it's just unparalleled.
Yeah.
Compared to that.
There's something like grassroots about it, or maybe the grassroots isn't the best word, but just like it just doesn't have all that nonsense.
Yeah, it's not like I'm over here trying to figure out how much coat check is going to be totaled into my freaking visit to this place that I'm probably only going to go to a few times.
Yo,
like,
just throw it behind the bar.
type shit.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. I just feel there's so much more culture and value to it. Like even the tattoos on me like came from an artist that like was doing shit at a Club Plex event, and like that's on me for life.
Hell yeah.
Like that's that kind of shit that like means the most to me.
I agree. I completely agree. Like,
not to take away from big concerts and events that I've been to. Like I've been to some like pretty cool stuff, but like the ones that really stick with me are like the underground shows.
Play back that tape there for me, sir.
Watch out, some boy I deal with disrespect like them want this original bad man.
one of my first of many tracks that I've made since living up here. But yeah, I just like started it and I was like, all right, I blink and it's like 12:30, 1 a.m. and I'm like, okay, I forgot to shower and
Dude, that's
eat and
Forgot to be a human today.
I forgot to live.
dude, that shit happens so much. You're like, oh fuck, I
Did
like
you ever
didn't eat.
Look in the mirror and like forget your name after Ableton sometimes.
No.
or your dog. I don't know. Maybe I'm
Oops.
like, maybe there's like a bug in Kai OS or something.
My
shit.
like back, it's like that meme where it's like a production session. It's just like the back fucked up meme, and
The
like,
back
you're
is
just
real,
like,
but I feel like if I have a good session, I'll like forget that I'm a person.
yeah,
Like I'll be like, oh crap, like I actually exist outside of my DAW.
yeah. Like you got sucked in.
I'll
You
be
really-
real. I once missed out on a date because I was stuck in a session.
It's like, bro, I can't leave.
Well,
but did you forgot? You were just like,
Well,
or
I was
kinda
kind of
knew?
like 50-50 on it. I was like, I'm gonna work on this track. And then like 9 o'clock rolled around. I looked at my phone. I had several missed texts, and I'm like, we're gonna go to the grave with this one and finish this track.
That's
The
the
track
most,
I'm out.
that's the most producer thing I think I've ever heard on this podcast. Missed the date for production.
Oops.
You might have just like
Missed
hit
the date to hit release date.
Yeah, dude.
Correct. Yeah. My priorities are in check, guys. Come on now.
No, thank you. We honor your service.
Try my best.
Modelo's up. Modelo's. I
Hey.
do like a good Modelo. All right, guys. I don't know. It's been a while. Like, we've been going for a while. Thank you for listening, Kiefer.
Yeah. Thank
Guy.
you for
Yo,
having me on.
Alex.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, thank you for like hosting, like coming in.
Thank you for allowing me to hijack your podcast
No.
and sit in your chair and
It's
grill
welcomed.
Kiefer about things.
Yes, it's appreciated. All right. Peace.
Peace.